Hey everyone, this is BrettDN here, and today I'm doing a update to that channel update, but it's for the truck. So I just got done doing the pitman arm and the idler arm and the bracket today, just at 3:30, and totally what a difference. I still have to get the truck aligned, but definitely as is, it is way better than it was when I first bought it in March of last year. So we're just going to go over some of the parts here and see what's up. So we're going to start off with the pitman arm here. I believe this is original. It's got 274,000 K on it. It's greasy as all frig because the power steering supply, or it's the high pressure end leaked, and I changed that hose back in June. So this is like all accumulated from how many years of that hose leaking and all that, but you know, there it is. It's original. I didn't find any number on it, but I assume it's going to be original. You can see here that the stud rotates and all that. Out of the idler arm and the pitman arm was the worst. Had the worst amount of wear on it. Like, yeah, you can just rotate that, and it's really easy. Like, I'm doing that no problem. Definitely what a pain in the ass to get off. So you can see that there is some markings right there, and then on the back. And basically what I did is I did South Main Auto's way of how he takes it off, which is basically you air hammer on the back end. And of course I had a really weak air hammer. I had the Ingersoll brand, not the max and anti-vibration one, but like the cheapest one that Ingersoll brand puts out, and it's a short barrel. It's just weak. So while I was pounding on the back with an air hammer, I had my dad with the biggest pry bar ever from above the hood smacking down with a hammer and this pry bar to push it. So while I was hammering on the back end, he was hammered down there, and the thing popped right off. I think we at least spent maybe 5 minutes, and it just popped right off. So you still have to move the power steering box out of the way to slide this out, and you just take the 3 bolts out, lift the box, slap the new one in, and bam, easy like that. But definitely this took 2 hours total because we had to go to another shop and borrow shop air and all that because our air compressor couldn't keep up. But other than that, fairly easy. It's just you got to do a lot of Mickey Mouse bullshit with it, but definitely worn out. Now we're going to go on with the idler arm and bracket here. I'll push the bag out of the way. Get the box out of the way. So, this is the idler arm right here, and the bracket, this is original. It's American Axle Manufacturing, I think it's called. I've heard of the brand before. I see them usually on the Dodges. The rear ends have them on the 3/4 tons and all that. So this wasn't actually as bad as the pitman arm, like I said earlier, but it still had a lot of play. Like, you can move the stud. I'll just take the nut off. Like, yeah, like, but definitely the pitman arm is just way worn out. Idler bracket, actually not so bad, and I actually have Pro Demand, or Mitchell's, I guess, and I checked within spec, and the bracket was still in spec for GM, but the idler arm wasn't. I could have gotten away with just changing the arm, but the bracket was only like $50, and it was an overbuilt version, so might as well. And there's actually a GM technical service bulletin where if you change the pitman arm, you have to change the idler, or vice versa. And I figured, well, if you're going to change both, you might as well just change the bracket while you're on top of it. And I don't think this bracket was ever greased since I've owned it, because, like, even though it looks like the Zerk is all cleaned off, there was a big chunk right there. I don't think it was ever greased. Same with the pitman arm. It looked like it was never greased. And there's usually about 8 to about 12 grease on the Chevys. So definitely someone missed them for most of the life of the truck, but now that I got new stuff on there, it's going to be greased every oil change like it should be. This was super easy to do. This took like 20 minutes. Basically, you go through the passenger side tire, remove the bolts, pop this out, get a pickle fork, pop it off, and take the whole bracket assembly. Now, if you're just changing the arm, that's a different story. You'll have to have a puller and you know, and all that. I guess you could maybe use pickle fork on that, but since I have the bracket, I just didn't fuck with it. I just took it all. But you know, it's still within GM spec. I think it was like what 1 to 2 millimeters play or something when you put the pry bar in a certain position on the center. Like it's still within spec, but just because the part was so cheap, I changed it. So that's the update. I'm definitely super impressed with the Mevotech parts. I would definitely recommend them to anyone. I've had awesome success with the tie rods. They're super tight in the steering, but this is the first time I've actually done, you know, a Pitman arm and idler arm from them. So definitely recommend it if you're looking for cheaper parts to compare to Moog. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.